Giving back. Giving back is big, and I love teaching our students why do we need to give back.
NHS and service, it's not about being perfect, it's about showing up and trying to make a difference.
At Kellenberg Memorial, we're not just building scholars, we're building leaders. And one of the best ways to do that is through service. Whether it's volunteering in local communities or organizing school-wide events, our service and leadership clubs are where students turn compassion into action. Welcome to Flight of the Firebirds, a Kellenberg Memorial podcast. I'm Mr. Benintendi, Assistant Principal for Activities here at Kellenberg, and I am joined today by some of the people who make this important work possible. I'd like to welcome Mrs. Mia Delbrune, moderator of our SMART program.
Hi, thank you for welcoming me.
Dr. Val Serpe, moderator of our Service Immersion Club.
Great to be here, thank you.
Senior Shane Anelante.
Hello, thank you for having this conversation with us today.
And Senior Isabel Placide.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Dr. Serpe, would you please share a little bit about the clubs you moderate here at Kellenberg?
So we're in our first year of the Service Immersion Club, which came to life after a service immersion camp that was held at Kellenberg last summer. The students really were moved and excited by what we did in partnership with Catholic Charities. So we extended the camp into a full-time club this year. So it's been a lot of fun, and every week it's a discovery of where there's need and where we can step in. So we've expanded the charities that we work with from Catholic Charities. We continue to work with them, but we also work closely with the Inn, the soup kitchen in Hempstead. We are working with groups within the school and outside the school, the Village Green in East Meadow. And what I'm finding is every week, if you just pause to look and see, you'll see opportunities that arise. Most excited for February break when we're going to be working with Habitat for Humanity, something I've wanted to do my whole life. So I'm excited that I get to experience for the first time with a bunch of our service immersion kiddos. And we'll be headed out to Bayport to work with Chaminade students and Kellenberg students to help rebuild a home that was damaged with fire.
And also the last 2 years you've been involved with the SMART program, correct?
Yes, love the SMART program. We get to go over to St. Martin Marianist School in Uniondale. And we take a bus over, and there's 30 to 40 kids that go over every week, and they're there interacting with the youngsters there, and it's just great to see how happy the younger children are when our kids get there. And for me, it's exciting to see the kids who actually went to St. Martin's that get to go back then as SMART helpers, and so it's a lot of fun every week.
And Mrs. Delbrune, you are the SMART program as well as my catch-all for the many activities you moderate. Would you like to tell us a little bit about some of those?
Well, on Monday, I have the One Heart, One Mind, Many Culture Clubs. On Tuesday, I have the French Club. On Wednesday, I have the brand new STEP Team Club. On Thursday, I have the Fashion Club. And of course, on Friday, I have the SMART program.
And you are the head moderator of SMART.
Yes, I am.
For those that don't know, SMART stands for St. Martin's After School Recreation and Tutoring Program. And that is no small feat, let me tell you guys. Isabel, would you share some of the service clubs you're a part of?
I'm actually a part of both Service Club and SMART, and as well as that, I'm a lab tech, so I help set up the labs before homeroom in the morning. I am a senior spirit leader, so I help with set up retreats for underclassmen. I am also part of ETV and Communications Club, so I do announcements and I help with the behind-the-scenes work. And lastly, I'm part of National Honor Society.
Shane, would you share which service clubs you're a part of?
Over my years at Kellenberg, I've been a part of numerous activities, stuff like SMART, SALT, CROSS, XLT. I was also part of the junior retreat staff. And into my senior year, I'm a part of the Marianist Life team and are one of the many coordinators under NHS.
And could you tell us why you wanted to get involved in some of those programs?
Yeah, of course. So activities and kind of helping out others has been a huge part of my faith life. Ever since I was a kid, I would never really notice doing work for others. And as I grew older, I really understand that in my faith, it's important to help people and to see those who are in need and be there for them.
Isabel, same question. Why did you want to get involved in those programs you got involved with?
I chose to get involved with the many programs that we have at Kellenberg because I really try to live my life by the motto of the golden rule, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. So I try to go out of my way to help others, do kind things, try to build a better place in our community.
In Matthew's gospel, Jesus simplifies the Ten Commandments down to love the Lord your God above all things and love your neighbor as yourself. I'm going to paraphrase C.S. Lewis, where he writes that sometimes we do find it difficult to find that love for our neighbors and for God. And he gives this advice: if you cannot find this love in your heart, act as if you love God and love your neighbor, and pretty soon you'll find yourself doing both. I'll ask Isabel, since you already brought it up, how is being a service-oriented person, how does that help you show your love for God and your neighbors?
It has definitely helped me show my love for God and my neighbors. When I help people, I feel like I'm making an impact, like I'm doing something beyond myself, and I'm connected more with my peers and my community and everyone around me.
Shane, same question.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with her in the sense I'm definitely gaining a better experience with God, understanding what he wants and how he wants us to treat others.
We have two real veterans of Catholic education here with us today. So I know, Mrs. Delbrune, you just actually re-examined SMART from this angle. So if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I was asked to write an article, and a lot of questions were religious questions. How is SMART include religious in activities? And I had a really hard time answering those questions. And of course, I spoke to Brother James a few times. He kind of helped me out. And I realized at the end, I'm like, we need to do more with the SMART program. There's not enough religious activities. And I know they do retreat. So I was thinking probably next year, the retreat could be done by the students that do SMART.
Great. So bringing religion into the SMART program is a huge part of our program moving forward.
Exactly. And also with the younger kids in the pre-K or first grade, they probably come here for a couple of hours. They could watch a movie, do an activity, and go back to school.
And Dr. Serpe, I mean, that's really at the heart of the reason you came up with the Service Immersion Camp and then the Service Immersion Club, correct?
Yes, and I have found that the greatest gift that I think the students are discovering, and I guess I've known my life in doing service, but being able to celebrate and do it here, is that we think when we do service that we're giving of ourselves to help somebody else on the receiving end. But really, in doing that, like, you are just receiving tenfold the goodness that you have done for somebody else. So watching students when we do service at the home in East Meadow and seeing how happy they were with the fashion show. So the Service Immersion Club teamed up with the Fashion Club. We went to Village Green in East Meadow, and Fashion Club did a fashion show, and then the service kids were there, and we did crafts all together for Thanksgiving. So we connected the service groups. It was so much fun, and then to see how happy the kids were on the way home, giving joy gave joy to them. So it's that discovery that excites me, and I think that I'm seeing it's like a spark in the heart, right? Our faith, it's like that spark that then spreads, and I think that's the gift of what service really is in this building, and we're so grateful to Brother Kenneth and everyone else and Mr. Benintendi that allow us to do these clubs and offer it to everybody.
With that idea in mind, Isabel, what would be the most meaningful service experience you've had so far at Kellenberg?
I would say last year I joined National Honor Society, and one of the things I did for it was I was at open house, I was at orientation, and I was speaking to 8th graders, kids that were in my position a few years ago, and they were scared, they were curious about our school, and I told them about all the wonderful things and how I have grown from coming to Kellenberg, and now those same kids that I encouraged to come here, I see them in the hallways, and I think that has been really meaningful to me to give back the same gift I got a few years ago.
Shane, what about you?
So again, I would have to agree, open house is a great experience. It's one of my favorite, and if you haven't heard, Honor Society are trying to promote a new service. We're going to do school supplies for kids in Uganda. So over these next coming up weeks, we're going to talk to the students, the juniors and seniors. We're going to try to raise money, raise school supplies for those kids that need help. And as I say here, it's really hitting that there are people that need help, and doing these little things like getting a packet of pencils or sponsoring a backpack is going to make a really big difference.
Isabel, you're part of that in NHS as well. Do you remember the project we did last year?
Yes, we did. We raised, I forgot the amount, but it was a few $1,000s to provide water tanks for a village in Africa. I remember that.
Yeah, and that was hugely successful. I think you guys provided 5 water tanks, which provides clean drinking water for each of those villages. So the NHS is very much not just an academic club, but a club that's about service. So I'm glad you guys brought that up.
Last year, we collected outdoor toys for the students at Samoan. However, this year, we collected coats, gloves, socks. What else, Dr. Val, we collected for the homeless people?
We connected again with the Inn in Hempstead. So what's great is the Inn provides you with a list of things like, if you're doing a project in school, here's what we need. So we go according to their needs, and Miss Delbrune's kids, like, right away. They bring in buckets of things, and your scarves are just amazing.
Yes, the Fashion Club members did scarves for the homeless people.
And those will be delivered on the 12th when there's a group of the Service Club that goes every month to the inn at night, and we meet for half an hour with the people who are in charge of the inn to hear about what's going on for service, and then they actually go into the warehouse and we do service to prep for the hundreds of people that they serve food to the next day. So those beautiful yellow scarves are
Colorful,
going there on the 12th.
bright
So
yellow scarves.
maybe your club wants to come with us that night to deliver.
Not a problem.
All right, we got a plan in place. That's great. So have you learned anything about yourselves by providing this service? Has anything emerged maybe for what you want to do in the future? Have you learned anything about service and its relationship to you as a person? I think we'll start with Shane.
Yeah, of course. I've learned a lot of concepts of patience and leadership. And this idea of service has really pushed myself to what I want to do in the future. I'm trying to major for something in physical therapy. I've so much of my life, I've been through physical therapy, through sports injuries, and I want to give back to the people who have helped me in those hard and desperate times.
Awesome. Isabel?
I definitely agree with Shane. Helping out with the service activities at Kellenberg has given me a clear picture of my future, and helping people through service brings out joy. Like when you help other people, they're happy, you're happy, and I would really like to continue that in my life. I plan on majoring in engineering and building and providing and solving problems that are necessary in the world.
And Dr. Val, you already touched on this a little bit. Would you like to expand on it a little bit more?
Yes, so I do want to give a shout out to the Latin school students because we thought it would be mainly high schoolers who would want to come on Mondays to do this. And once we opened it to 6, 7, and 8, the room is packed. We actually had to ask for a room that has expanding, like a wall that goes back so that we could fit more students when needed. The seniors that I'm sitting next to right now are such a great example to the Latin schoolers. And I just love to see that everybody's working together and you're modeling for them when they get into the high school.
Ms. Delbrune, same theme.
Giving back. Giving back is big. And I love teaching our students, why do we need to give back? Why is it big? A few students ago, I think some of my smart club members, I'm like, next time it's 5 degrees outside, 10 o'clock at night, you're laying in your bed. Think about the homeless person that's laying on the street with no coat. Go home and look for something in your closet that you're not wearing anymore. And think about the homeless man that's just laying in the street cold, giving back, and teach them why do we need to give back. It has to come from your heart. Why do you feel that you need to give back? And I always ask them that question, why are you giving this scarf? What's so special about this scarf? And they usually tell me why they're donating the scarf.
That's important to get the emotions of the students involved as well. As you guys have just indicated, you snap your finger, you get 500 kids showing up, but if you also want them to have the idea of what's going on. So I'm going to ask Shane this first. What is it about Kellenberg and service that they're so uniquely combined?
I think it's the way we represent our student body. I want to bring up a couple recent examples, again, open house and stuff like registration. For the kids that would walk into Kellenberg, it said seeing a teacher, they would see a senior or a land schooler. It really gives a whole new perspective because, yes, the parents are going to want to know about maybe the prices and the other aspects of school, but it's the kids that want to actually go there and realize what they're going to go through. Personally, I did give a couple of tours during open house, and it was the questions of, like, how does senior year work? What are some of the electives? It's the way Kellenberg allows the student to be a part of that responsibility for now and for the kids incoming to school. It really makes it special.
All right, I'm going to continue that idea for the whole group, and we could just go from right to left, but I'll start with Dr. Val. We say at Kellenberg things are caught, not taught. How is service caught at Kellenberg Memorial?
I've been in different schools throughout my career, in different Catholic schools, a blessing each one. And what I've noticed, and I can say without any doubt, that Kellenberg has the most spiritual school environment and culture that I've ever been in. And it's been personally a blessing for me to be involved in the faith life. There is always an opportunity to practice your faith. There's no shame in practicing your faith. It's a natural embrace of sacraments, of midday prayer. And having been here, yes, it takes a little bit to get used to things, but for anybody thinking about going to Kellenberg or somebody coming in as a freshman or into the Latin school, it's a beautiful place to come to grow, not only academically and emotionally and socially, but spiritually. And really, what gives you that peace to put your head down on your pillow and have peace at night is when your spiritual life is in sync with everything else.
Isabel? Yeah.
I fully agree with Dr. Val and Shane, but one thing I'd like to add is service is so prominent in our school because of how it's promoted. As someone who's a part of Communications Club and ETV, we like make it completely known all the opportunities every day on the morning and PM announcements, all the opportunities to help out, and really like word of mouth. Our school, like people talk a lot. If someone's in a club, I really like this club, and they tell their friend, and their whole friend group finds out about it, and it just spreads through word of mouth, through promotion, through morning announcements, and I think that's really great about our school, the way we promote service.
Shane?
We really treat service here as more of a responsibility than an option. The kids that come to these events, they don't do it just for hours and just to be here. They really want to do it to help out the cause of what we're doing. The amount of people I've seen who've come to stuff like Science Olympiad and these other little events you wouldn't think have much meaning, they want to go there because they might have an interest in science and they want to have an idea of what they're going to look at. So the way they treat it is more of a responsibility than just doing it just to do it is really special.
I'm just going to jump in there before I let Miss Delbrune jump in. I used to be in charge of admissions here before Mr. O'Brien, and my whole goal at Open House was to do exactly what you guys are talking about, is just to bring students in here and let them talk to our students. And then they're going to find out whether they want to come here or not, because that does the most to show who we are, is that you guys are out there showing it just by your actions, just by being here, being positive. That's always been such a great part of Kellenberg. Sorry to interrupt you, Mrs.
Not a problem.
Delbrune. So the same question about caught and taught.
Like I said, I mean, they love to give. If you explain to them why, they love to give. Even for the drive, for the winter clothes, around the winter break, it was from November, I think, all the way to the end of first trimester. During the winter break, during the Christmas time, they were emailing me. I'm like, are you still accepting coats, socks? I'm like, the drive is over. However, you're free to donate the clothes, and I'll give them to Dr. Val. They love it. You teach in my classroom. I have the big crates in the classroom, and 98% of the time, they're completely full. I have to ask Mr. O'Brien, can I get another crate?
All right, this question is going to be for Shane and Isabel. If you could give a newer student or a younger student some advice on how to get started with service, what would be the best thing for them to join if they were going to get involved in the service aspect of Kellenberg Memorial?
I wasn't told this, I just figured this out. On our iPads, we have a list of documents in Google Drive that are shared with us. And if you go to Google Sheets or you go to Google Drive and you type in activity, there's a whole Google Sheets with all the activities at our school and everything you need to know about them. So locations, moderators, days that they meet, and everything you need to know about a club. So if you're interested in a club and you don't know when they meet, you can go to that list and you can find them.
Thanks, Isabel, because I actually created that spreadsheet, so that made me really happy. All right, Shane, how about you?
A couple pieces of advice. The first one is don't be afraid. It's good to get out of your comfort zone. Speaking from personal experience, in the beginning, freshman year, I was very nervous to do stuff like SAL and kind of get myself out there. But the more I did it, the more I realized how much I loved it. Another thing I kind of want to add is that NHS and service, it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up and trying to make a difference. It's okay to make mistakes, but to kind of be there and show that you want to do stuff, to go talk to teachers and make interactions with the people you're working with. It's a very good way to show how much you're interested and kind of gives you that confidence for later stuff and activities you may want to do during your sophomore, junior, senior year.
And keep in mind, everyone, we've only touched on a few of the service-oriented NHS, SMART, Service Immersion, but there's also SALT, there's CROSS, and then almost every club does some kind of a project. Every team, athletic team, does some kind of a civic-minded project. And we even created a civics course this year for sophomores and juniors it's a 0-hour course on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The opportunities are everywhere if you want to be a part of that. So I'm just going to go around the room one more time and ask each of you to sum up what you want our students to know and our listeners to know about service at Kellenberg Memorial High School. We'll start with Dr. Val.
I do want to give one big shout out to SALT, a group of students who show up for every event that we do. We had an event where 100 students showed up. They're there till 11 o'clock at night, and they are just masterful at helping us to set up, clean up, and just be present and wonderful kids for every event. So that's just a special shout out to SALT. I would like to say to anybody, whether you're thinking about going to Kellenberg or if you're already at Kellenberg and maybe you're not involved in something, the hardest part about getting involved is just showing up. So just show up. Show up to the club, send an email to a moderator, talk to a friend. Once you're in the room, once you're in the seat, everything else will be taken care of. Everybody was new at one point. So if you're thinking about it, I just encourage you to just take that one first step, which is the hardest step, and then the rest will just flow.
Isabel?
I would say keep your eyes and ears open. There's many times I've been in the hallways after school and I'm walking through the hallways and I'll see people in a classroom and I'll walk in and say, hey, what's going on? And they'll say, oh, this is this club. That's actually how I joined Service Club. I was like, hi, is this what's going on here? And Dr. Val said, this is Service Club. So keep your ears open for announcements, for what people are saying. Like, hey, I'm in this club. Look around. You'll find something that you'll love here.
All right, Shane, how would you like to sum up our talk today?
So don't be afraid that you're not ever going to have opportunity. Being a freshman leader, the amount of times I've had kids walk up to me and saying, oh man, I missed this. Is there anything else I can do? I would show them the list of activities and explain what they would do, and they would feel a lot of relief knowing that it's okay if you miss one because there's going to be many opportunities now and in the future for you to do.
Ms. Delbrune?
I mean, exactly what they just said. Take the first step. Pay attention. Walk around the building. See what's going on, which clubs are taking place. Knock on the door. Can I come in and see what you guys are doing? To get yourself involved and also to do more service work.
And I would say as the head of activities, give it a taste. You don't have to necessarily stay with the club, but try as many clubs as you want and see if they're for you. You'll find the thing that you're meant to be a part of. Final question. We'll start with Dr. Val again. Where would you like to see the Service Immersion Club in the next 5 or 10 years?
My goal in starting this club was to spark the passion for service in the hearts of students. I was given that gift by the Sisters of Mercy when I was in high school, and it's been such a blessing in my life that I'm so happy now to pass that on to students in the club now. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I think the thing I'd be most excited that I may never know is the students who go through the club and through these other wonderful clubs at Kellenberg, the impact that they're going to have moving forward. It's like tossing the pebble in the water and seeing those ripples. So I can't give you a specific number of what I hope to see, just that I hope that those ripples spread far and wide in helping others.
Mrs. Delbrune, same question.
Of course, to keep growing and to add more religious activities with the smart students at Samoan. And instead of 40 students every day, why not 50?
That would be great. I'm all for that, absolutely, as the head of activities. The service and leadership clubs at Kellenberg Memorial are much more than extracurriculars. They are a living extension of what it means to be a Firebird. And when Firebirds come together in this way, they don't just change themselves, they change the world around them. So that we may continue to live this mission with full hearts and clear minds, we offer this prayer to St. Vincent de Paul, and I ask everyone to pray together. Lord, teach us to be generous, to give without counting the cost, to return good for evil, to serve without expecting some reward, to draw closer to those whom we find repulsive, to do good to those who cannot reciprocate, to love generously, to work without being concerned about rest, to be solely concerned about giving, to give our whole self, to give to those who need us, hoping to receive only you, Lord, as our reward. Amen. I'd like to thank Mrs. Delbrune, Dr. Serpe, Shane, and Isabel for being here today. I'm Mr. Benintendi, and this has been Flight of the Firebirds.